It's just such a weird time in America where during my vacation, there was a day when I was on the lake hanging out with friends, and all of a sudden I forgot, oh my God, the Lakers are playing. And I'm a sportscaster. This is August, September is not when I've ever watched in the middle of the afternoon or late afternoon, have ever watched NBA playoff games. The NFL season is sneaking up on us because we didn't have a preseason. So generally I get used to it. You bet a few games, you have some fun, you get football. NFL starts Thursday. So it is, I think it's for a lot of us, it's like we have these weird schedules where only baseball is playing when they normally play. Everything else is sort of out of sorts and not quite there. And now the consumption of all of it, you're watching a lot of sports, but they're all going up against each other right now. So it's a very weird time. And I found myself on occasion during my week off of just forgetting there were games on. This is something that's not forgettable. Deshaun Watson signs a 4-year, $160 million extension with the Houston Texans. We now have multiple teams in the NFL. L.A. Rams with Jared Goff, Kansas City with Mahomes, Philadelphia with Carson Wentz, and Houston with Deshaun Watson, who have paid their star quarterbacks early. And in two cases, Deshaun Watson and Carson Wentz, we've got major injury history with both. And yet Dak is franchise tag. This is the deal mostly that Dak wanted. What is really interesting about Dak and Deshaun Watson. Now, obviously, Dak's been in the league longer than Deshaun Watson. Obviously, Deshaun was a higher draft pick than Dak Prescott. But let's take the last 2 years. So they've both had some years in the league. What is shocking is how similar they are. Deshaun's won a few more games. They both have 52 touchdowns and around 20 picks. They both complete about 66, 67% of their throws. And one's passer rating is 100 and another is 98.4. It's the same guy. There's a big difference, though. Deshaun Watson's done that despite his surroundings. Dak has accomplished that because of his surroundings. This is why I never bought into all the Dallas reporters claiming that Dak was going to get big money. He has had a top 2 offensive line since he entered the league, a top 1 or 2 running back, a top 3 or 4 receiving core. His head coach always been an offensive guy. And as much as we roll our eyes at Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, they generally draft pretty well and have elite players my entire life. Dak and Deshaun's numbers are shockingly similar the last 2 years. One guy got there despite his surroundings in Houston. Another got there because of his surroundings in Dallas. Maybe it says Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are much better run than we think, but this is specifically why if I give you Mercedes, I want Mercedes results. If I give you a top 2 offensive line for 3 or 4 years, if I give you a top 2 running back for 4 years, if I give you all sorts of candy and fun on the perimeter, if I give you offensive coach after offensive coach, you got to do better than one playoff win. I mean, it's so funny to watch people bang on Jared Goff. Jared Goff got to a Super Bowl and had a chance to win it in the fourth quarter. It's like people that bang on Jimmy Garoppolo. For 3 quarters, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. He's pretty good. Dak still has all these, oh, man. That's why I always say about life. If you told me at 30 years old you're a millionaire, but you were a trust fund millionaire, not that impressive. If you're like, yeah, I'm a child of divorce, I went through a lot, I had to pay for my own college, and you're a millionaire at 30? Now, that's something worth talking about. You may be a uniquely driven individual. Good for you. But what you're surrounded by matters. Josh Allen for Buffalo is a nice quarterback talent, but he's wild. If he didn't have a coach as good as Sean McDermott, he'd be a mess. Sam Darnold, I think, has much more talent, and I'd love to have Darnold over Josh Allen. He was a much better college player, and coming out of the draft, he was higher rated. But look at the dysfunction. The general manager, the first guy that ran the Jets, Adam Gase can't get along with any of his star players, and the first general manager was virtually incompetent. So good for Deshaun Watson. I think he deserves every penny of it. And by the way, I think the franchise tag is great for Dak. If he pops this year, boom, pay him. I got no problem with it. But I was a huge advocate of franchise tagging Dak. the stuff around him offensively is unbelievably good. It's very rare. I mean, look what Joe Burrow has this year to deal with. We got to be fair with Joe Burrow. He's going to get the you-know-what kicked out of him. Joe Burrow's got one nice receiver and he's got one old veteran, often beat-up wide receiver and a good running back. In that division, that is 5 wins max, probably 4. Where you land, the support you get matters. Dak has had unbelievable. You may not like Jason Garrett. At least he played quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he wasn't one of these stodgy defensive coaches, John Fox, who's hyper-conservative. I mean, Jason Garrett was a quarterback in the NFL. There's a lot of worse situations than that. Okay, Colin right, Colin wrong, top of the hour. So I have until Thursday to officially put in my NFL predictions. So put up what you want. I want you to watch these. Go to my social media accounts. So my updated predictions. I'll take the Bills to win the AFC East and be the only playoff team in that division. In the AFC North, I've got the Ravens at 16-0. I may alter that. Cleveland's a playoff team. Pittsburgh, I don't buy. Everybody else does. And I think the Bengals are just not ready to compete in that division. Let's go to AFC South. I'm fascinated to watch Phillip Rivers with that offensive line. He's going to have nothing but time to throw. I don't love their perimeter weapons. We will see. We will see with the 2 rookies, Jonathan Taylor, the running back rookie out of Wisconsin. Keep your eyes on him. And Michael Pittman, the wide receiver from USC. I love both those guys. In kind of a weird division with a lot of dysfunction, I'll take the Colts to be the best, least dysfunctional team. In the AFC West, again, I like Denver a lot, but they're bad at left tackle and their right tackle opted out. That is a problem. But I do think Denver is emerging offensively. Drew Lock, keep your eye on him. Big arm, a little wild. I think the Chargers, Derwin James injury does not help them. I think Kansas City wins the division, but I do expect a little pullback from Kansas City. I think that happens when you go to Super Bowls. My playoff teams are the Bills, the Ravens, the Colts, the Chiefs, the Broncos, Browns, and the Chargers. Let's go to the NFC, where I think the Eagles win the division, and then I think it's just a bunch of meh. Dallas 8-8. It could be a game above that. I wouldn't be shocked. I think Philadelphia's got the best coach, the best front office, and the most talented quarterback. NFC North, I have the Vikings and Green Bay both at 11-5. I think Chicago's got quarterback issues. Some people see Detroit as a dark horse. I don't. I love Minnesota's roster. I think we've oversold Green Bay. They're not going to be 13-3. But good God, I'm seeing people now say they're a 500 team or 9-7. They've got Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones. They're pretty good. In the NFC South, fascinating division. Carolina is going to be a really intriguing 7-9 team. Running back, wide receiver, quarterback, offensive mind, they're going to spoil somebody's season. I think Tampa Bay starts sluggishly because of all the new pieces with Brady, but I think they catch fire mid-October on. As John and I talked about, the Saints are in go-for-it mode. They are all in, and I think they're going to be rewarded. I think this is Drew Brees' last year before he goes to be a great broadcaster, and he'll be great. And then the NFC West, which is arguably the best division. I can't wait to watch this. I think the Niners got it going. Seattle worries me. They've got really bad offensive and defensive lines, but Russell Wilson is a savior, and I just, in Russell, I trust. That's how I look at it. The Rams, I live in this city. I'm not quite sure what to do with the Rams. Here's why I like them. Last year, we look at it as a massive disappointment. They were 9-7 in the toughest division in football. I'm going to go 9-7 as of today. I may change by tomorrow. I may flip the Rams and the Seahawks, but it was man overboard all year. We were like, God, the Rams are a mess. They were 9-7 in the toughest division in football and had a chance to be 10-6. Arizona, I just think they got a bad division. I like a lot of what Arizona's doing offensively. I may give them one more win. So Colin Wright, my playoff teams in the NFC, Eagles, Vikings, Saints, Niners, Packers, Bucks, Seahawks. There we go. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.